Thank you for joining us on NTA Network News. And we are reaching you now because of the live transmission which you just watched from the Villa on the launch of the book on President Buhari. Godwin Obaseki of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has been declared winner of the Edo State governorship election by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Abdullahi Garba reports that 18 political parties contested the election.
Declare the results of the elections.
In the presence of two INEC national commissioners and party agents, the chief returning officer, Professor Kayode Shoremekun, declared the results. A breakdown shows that out of the more than 1.9 million registered voters, only 622,039 voters were accredited for the election. In the results, the APC candidate won by 319,483 to defeat his close rival of the PDP, Osagi Ize Iyamu, who got 253,173 votes.
Godwin Noehase Obaseki of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
Although two agents of the PDP and Young Democratic Party, YDP, did not sign the results sheets, INEC stressed that their action will not invalidate the election results. Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
And as a follow-up to the Edo elections, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the government and people of Edo State on its successful completion of the governorship election and the victory of the All Progressives Congress candidate Godwin Obaseki. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina says this was in a telephone call to Governor Adams Oshiomhole. President Buhari commended the well-articulated campaign program of the APC in the state, the doggedness of the governor-elect and party members in going round the state to reach the people with records of good governance over the years and a promise of continuity. According to the president, the victory is good for democracy, Nigeria, and the people of Edo State. President Buhari also commended the Independent National Electoral Commission, security agencies, corps members, and the electorate for ensuring a peaceful election. Also, Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki has congratulated the governor of Edo State, the governor-elect of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, over his victory in the election. A statement by the Special Advisor, Media and Publicity to the Senate President described Obaseki's success as well-deserved and a good standard-bearer of the APC. The federal government says it will remain focused towards unleashing the full potential of the nation's manufacturing sector for sustainable economic prosperity. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this at the 44th Annual General Meeting of the manufacturing sector as critical to the nation's quest for economic diversification and survival. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The annual general meeting with the theme Diversifying the Nigerian Economy, the Role of Government in Manufacturing brought together captains of industry from across the country to share experiences and ideas towards charting a pragmatic course for the nation's industrial sector. President Muhammadu Buhari expressed the conviction that a strong manufacturing sector will usher in sustainable economic prosperity for the nation. To this end, he said new industrial policies and strategies already formulated will be implemented towards uplifting the nation's economy and social well-being.
Our strategic plan to boost manufacturing activities in the country is supported by Nigeria's Industrial Revolution Plan and the National Enterprises Development Program. These programs present a clear roadmap towards an industrialized Nigerian economy.
While commending the national manufacturers for immensely contributing to national economic policies and socio-economic development of the country over the years, President Buhari said many of them will be called upon to play critical roles in the implementation of his administration's economic development agenda.
Our nation owes you all a debt of gratitude for your show of commitment demonstrated by your respective investment in Nigeria's economy in spite of daunting challenges. The future of our nation depends on such commitment and our collective desire to build a thriving economy.
The meeting plan is designed to achieve diversification and growth in a market economy that is inclusive, that creates jobs for our people, and that is well regulated for both private and public good.
Guest speaker at the event and President Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, blamed the present economic predicament of Nigeria to many decades of poor choices, which he said can only be addressed through diversification.
Diversification is no longer an option. It has now become our only hope. It is therefore imperative that all stakeholders work together to expand the real sector of our economy with a view to reducing our dependence on imports as well as growing our non-oil exports.
We commend Your Excellency, Mr. President, for the bold initiatives your administration has taken, allocating 60% of all available foreign exchange to the manufacturing sector for importation of raw materials and machinery.
President Buhari later inspected an exhibition of locally manufactured products at the event. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says President Muhammadu Buhari is ready to put everything on the line to make sure Nigeria is great, and that he has no other objective other than seeing this dream come true. The Vice President stated this while receiving a delegation of Christian Ministers' Welfare Initiative, also known as the Pastors Forum, Taraba State. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, while reiterating the firm commitment of the president to a great Nigeria, said he feels inspired by the president's devotion to serve the people. As he said, having the chance to be in position of authority calls for a determination to improve the lots of the people. Linking the economic situation to corruption, vandalization of oil installations, and militancy, the vice president expressed optimism that the nation would come out of recession. He urged the church and all religious leaders to stand up and join government in the fight against corruption, stressing that government is also working to end the problem of ravaging herdsmen. While calling on honest and forthright men in the country to come together, Vice President Osinbajo said God has structured Nigeria in such a way that no one can dominate another. Reverend Godwin Inyekwele is head of the delegation.
First and foremost, we have seen in this government that has fight corruption to a standstill. We have seen this government has fight insecurity. Before now, we were not secured. We were only here and there, hectare-scatter. But today, we can sleep with our two eyes closed. At least out of many, we won't just pinpoint this on the insecurity and our area of corruption, which has fought, and we are pleased with him.
Reverend Inyekwele said the Christian Ministers' Welfare Initiative is a non-partisan group and called on government to assist churches whose premises are being used as IDP camps. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The federal government has declared Monday, 3rd October 2016 as public holiday to mark Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary. In a statement signed by the Acting Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Muhammadu Machido, the Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazo, congratulates Nigerians at home and in the diaspora at this year's independence anniversary. The minister, however, calls on all Nigerians to support the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration as he is determined to build a stronger and more united country, which has always been the dream of the nation's founding fathers. He reassures of government's efforts at providing palliative measures to cushion the effects of the present economic challenges. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, has reiterated the decision of the present administration to establish ranches reserves across the country as a solution to the incessant clashes between cattle rearers and local farmers. He was speaking with a delegation of Tebital Pulako Njodi Jam Foundation led by Alhaji Abdul Bali. He noted that nomads said to be perpetuating most crimes on farmlands are migrants and assured that government will do the needful to enlighten herdsmen on making cattle rearing more profitable by utilizing ranches.
So we must begin to partner with government to look at this issue. We must find a way of domesticating these youths.
In another development, the SGF has assured the people of the Northeast region that the federal government will soon inaugurate the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative to streamline rehabilitation and accelerate return to normalcy. It was while receiving a delegation from the Lerden Gabas Elders Forum led by the chairman of the Board of Trustees, Captain Paul Tahir. Mr. Lawal also debunked insinuations of discrimination by agencies responsible for rehabilitation of the internally displaced persons, adding that relief materials were being distributed with a deep sense of fairness and equity. A bill for an act to incorporate and enforce certain provisions of the United Nations Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women has gone through second reading at the Senate this Thursday. Waziri Zayano has details of this and other proceedings.
As Nigeria grapples with economic crisis, there are calls from various quarters for an urgent need to put in place policies that will properly empower women and ensure that poverty among them is reduced. In a bill presented at plenary, Senator Biodun Olajimi emphasized the need for modification of social and cultural patterns with a view to eliminating gender prejudice.
I want to urge all of you to please look at this new bill because it has been re-engineered to suit everyone and to ensure that all our girls, our women, the elderly, and the very weak are taken care of.
Various contributors also opine that vulnerability and dependency of women in all spheres of life should be discouraged.
We have to amend that part of the Constitution to accommodate us women. Look at this room. How many women are here?
And if we can put the affirmative action into the subsection 3 of 147, it will have given the government of the day a credit.
Report on the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Funds on the Federal University Ukari, presented by Senator Jibril Barau, was passed after a third reading.
You may wish to note that the university is fully operational, but without enabling law. The bill was passed in the 7th Senate, was not assented to by the then President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Other bills considered and passed include those of the Prevention of Crime Act, National Agricultural Land Development Authority Act, as well as the Bee Import Control and Management Act, among others.
I felt it would be proper on behalf of the Senate and our colleagues to wish Nigerians a happy Independence Day. As we say, we continue to celebrate this great country of ours with a lot of talent, resources. We all appreciate the challenges that we're having, but many times we have always come out of these challenges stronger.
From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayano, NTA News.
Wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has emphasized the need for collaboration of relevant interests to stamp out discrimination against people with infertility, especially women. It was in a message at the launch of the campaign to end women unable to bear a child, put together by her NGO Future Assured and an international pharmaceutical company. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Experts in the health sector say people talk about reproductive health, family planning and other related health issues concerning women, but they talk less about infertility and its negative consequences despite the fact that it exists. This has resulted to lack of information about the menace and its remedy. which resulted to violence against women. Wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari, represented by the wife of the vice president, Mrs. Dolapo Shinbajo, who reaffirmed commitment to ending the menace, says adequate information as well as access to healthcare facility and poverty alleviation are key to addressing the challenge. She therefore urged all stakeholders to come on board in achieving this.
I'm told that training of healthcare providers and embryologists and availability of more equipment and drugs is what this laudable scheme launched here today hopes to achieve. Surely, this would advance the cause for which our Senate Committee on Health, Merck Healthcare, our Ministry of Health, Future Assured, and indeed all other partners gather here today.
Stakeholders in discussion identified the challenges faced by women as a result of their inability to give birth and the way forward.
So it's important for couples to go to the facility as a couple if there is infertility.
We are the first in Africa to have debated and passed that bill at the National Assembly.
We are doing our best in this country to address the issue of women empowerment, because once you empower a woman, you empower the whole family, the community.
Infertility is beyond a clinic or laboratory issue. It's also a public health matter. Now we are seeing another dimension.
Going forward, we intend to come together and develop an operational plan which is going to address key aspects of the program, including the selection criteria for the women.
In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the Governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, on the commencement of the rebuilding of the Northeast. It also commended the National Assembly for initiating the Northeast Development Commission Bill. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko reports.
The commencement of rehabilitation of victims of insurgency and rebuilding of structures in the Northeast attracted commendation from House members through a motion moved by Representative Mohammed Nuru Sharif from Borno State.
General T.Y. Denjuma, retired, to make public all those who pledged to assist in the building of Northeast.
When it happens in Borno, Adamawa, or wherever, it affects somebody in Cross River.
1 truck of food were delivered to Adamawa State. None of it has reached the 7 affected local government.
The kernel of the motion is not the commendation, but drawing the attention of the nation that reconstruction in the Northeast has actually commenced.
Members resolved to investigate alleged 500 billion naira owed the Pipeline and Products Marketing Company, PPMC, by oil marketers, as moved by Representative Agom Jaribe from Cross River State.
That there is a connivance and compromise by functionaries of PPMC.
The Chairman House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Representative Abdrazak Namdas, in a briefing, says in the next few days, the House will focus on finding lasting solutions to the state of the nation's economy.
So economy will continue to feature as one of the serious issues in this.
While the Sergeant-at-Arms of the National Assembly has sealed off the office, Representative Abdul Mumin Jibrin from the National Assembly. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The United Kingdom and the United States have pledged an additional $391 million humanitarian aid for the Lake Chad region. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, stated this during a media briefing. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
President Muhammadu Buhari's attendance at the 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly can be said to have started yielding results. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema confirmed the readiness of foreign investors to invest in the country, as well as their willingness to support internally displaced persons.
Regarding the $391 million pledged at the side event on Lake Chad, an event that was organized, in fact, by the United Nations. Yes, these are brand new pledges by a number of countries, not just the US, the UK, Belgium, and a number of other countries. So that was a very important deliverable result of that of our engagement and are being present in New York.
The minister said Nigeria will continue to call for restructuring of the United Nations Security Council, especially the permanent seat category, which he said the country is ready to serve as the voice for Africa. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has extended condolences to the government and people of the State of Israel over the passing of former President and Prime Minister Shimon Peres. In a statement by presidential spokesperson Femi Adesina, President Buhari joined the global community and world leaders in mourning the former leader whose visionary leadership, voice of wisdom, and unparalleled experience of diplomacy in the Middle East will continue to resonate in the long search for peace in the region. The president believes the statesmanship and patriotism displayed by Peres in signing the Oslo Peace Accord, the subsequent treaties for a two-state solution, was most quintessential and should be followed through so that the younger generation will inherit peace and harmony. President Buhari affirms that Peres served firmly, faithfully, and dutifully building a modern Israeli state and also rose to the occasion when the world desperately needed a heart of love, magnanimity, and understanding to heal the wounds of hostility in the region. He prays that the Almighty God will grant him eternal rest and comfort members of his family. Wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is back in the country after successfully attending side events at the 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Mrs. Buhari arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Thursday morning. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that Mrs. Buhari, who attended various meetings related to the upliftment of women and children, is optimistic that their future is assured. Senior Special Assistant to the wife of the President, Dr. Hajjosani, sheds more light on the significance of the trip.
Apart from attending side events, she was able to meet with world leaders and donor agencies like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She also had a meeting with African First Ladies, and she made commitment as a wife of the President of Nigeria of how she is going to participate and improve the status of women and girls in Nigeria.
This is NTA Network News. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. From informal consultation, OPEC returns to its traditional role of managing supply. That is when we return after the break. Stay with us.
This is to announce the launching of a biography on President Muhammadu Buhari, titled Muhammadu Buhari, The Challenges of Leadership in Nigeria, authored by renowned Professor of International Studies at George Mason University, USA, Professor John N. Padden. Date is Monday, 3rd October 2016. Venue, International Conference Center, Area 10, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. prompt. Book reviewers, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, All Progressive Congress National Leader, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, Minister of Science and Technology, Ambassador John Campbell, former U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, Nigeria's former representative to the United Nations. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
Morning. Hi. Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you today? How are you? Morning, my son.
Hello, what's up?
Welcome, man. Good morning. How are you?
Everybody is coming back to campus and nobody wants to leave, because with Glow Campus Data Booster, you get 10 times the value of your data while on campus. That means 10 times your chatting, browsing, pinging, and more.
Who are these people? Come on, get this. What the?
With Glow Campus Data Booster, you get 10 times the value of your recharge in data and talk time while on campus. Dial *777# and choose your campus booster plan.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees for a sustainable job. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. Bayes University Abuja. Learn to live.
The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs holds a formal Islamic program to mark Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary. The program includes a public lecture with the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, as the special guest of honor, and His Eminence Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, and President General of Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs as chairman. Date, Friday, September 30. Time, 11:30 a.m. to 12:50 p.m. Venue, Conference Hall, National Mosque, Abuja. There will also be a special Jumat worship as part of the program at the Abuja National Mosque immediately after. Announcer, Ustaz Christian Issa Okonkwo, Director of Administration.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the program of events to commemorate Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary. Details as follows. Sunday, 25th September, interdenominational Thanksgiving church service at the National Worship Center, Abuja. Time 4 p.m. Attendance is open. Friday, 30th September, public lecture 11 a.m. to 12:50 p.m. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Attendance is open. Jumat prayers 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Attendance is open. Saturday, 1st October, presidential change of guard. Venue, forecourt of the Presidential Villa, State House, Abuja. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Bolaji Adebi, Director Press, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Announcer.
When has it reached this? Much less this. And this. And this. And this. Help reclaim our Commonwealth. Lend your support to the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria.
Education Minister Adamu Adamu has made a case for the reintroduction of history as a subject in schools and the disarticulation of social studies in the current curriculum to enable Nigerian children understand the full sense of humanity. The event was the ministerial session of the 61st National Council on Education. Franca Uzoma Olwa reports.
The removal of history as a subject at the basic education level has consistently generated a lot of controversy in recent times. With the gathering of the highest decision-making body in the education sector, the minister posed these questions to delegates.
How can we know who we are when we don't even know who we are not? How can we know what to make of our society when we don't know how our society itself is made up?
And having knowledge of the society also requires the full knowledge of God in order to build character.
I urge you to consider making the study of Christian religious knowledge compulsory for Christian students and the study of Islamic religious knowledge compulsory for Muslim students.
The National Council on Education provides opportunity for participants made up of commissioners for education, heads of education institutions, and international development partners to exchange ideas and information on how to address the challenges in the sector.
All of us seated here are beneficiaries of public education. It is therefore a huge challenge for us to critically look at our standards.
I've heard that you would do a school feeding program, but then it's domiciled not with you again.
Why do I have to travel 100 kilometers to get primary education because I'm blind?
Franca Uzoma Olua, NTA News.
Ahead of the October 2nd commencement of this year's National Festival of Arts and Culture in Akwa Ibom State, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has restated the need to move the festival from being a forum to showcase arts and culture to a tool for economic growth. He stated this at a media briefing to herald the festival. Anthony Forson reports.
The National Festival of Arts and Culture began in 1970 as the Unity Festival after the Civil War as part of efforts to reunite the country. Today, the festival has succeeded in reawakening national consciousness and the drive to leverage on the abundant potentials in the cultural industry for youth empowerment and wealth creation, in which Nigeria has comparative advantage.
This is why this administration has included the creative industries as well as tourism among the core areas for the diversification of the economy away from oil.
With the theme exploring gold mine inherent in the Nigerian creative industries, it is geared towards using the various cultural products and expressions to develop a creative economy.
There is an urgent need to bring Nigerians closer together as a people amid the widening divisions along ethnic, religious, and social lines.
The festival is designed to promote indigenous cuisine, music, and cultural services. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Women icons presented in Lagos and details with Adebola. Good to see you, Adebola. It's over to you.
Good evening and welcome to Lagos. As the Joint Military Task Force on Pipeline Vandalism continues to check incessant activities of vandals in the creeks across Lagos and Ogun State waterways, the Nigerian Navy says it has stepped up the combat readiness of its ratings through improved welfareism and family engagement. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Ferguson Bopai, made this known at an event where the Navy Rating Wives Association of the Command were presented with a bus on behalf of the Chief of Naval Staff in Lagos. Musa Toliad has the details.
The successes recorded by the Joint Military Task Force on Pipeline Vandalism through Operation Awase at Arikpo area of Ogun State has been attributed to improved combat readiness and motivation in the armed forces. Flag Officer Commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Ferguson Bobai, however, said efforts are now geared towards consolidating the successes recorded through enhanced welfare packages for ratings in command. He said all forms of distractions and concerns in their home front will also be addressed. This informed the mobilization effort by the Chief of the Naval Staff to boost the activities of wives of the ratings in the Naval Command.
If you don't have problems bothering your mind, the likelihood that you will concentrate on your primary duty is assured. We have done a lot of projects for officers. The chief is now also extending it to the ratings. This bus, the Chief of Naval Staff decided to buy one for Naval Ratings Wives Association in each of the commands of the Navy.
We are very happy. We want to appreciate our Chief of Naval Staff for giving us this vehicle.
Rear Admiral Bobai also shed more light on the next stage of the Operation Awase, which is to rid the creeks of vandals in Lagos and Ogun States.
The opening up of the creeks is ongoing so that we can go in, as a matter of fact, to recover all those jerry cans that are lying up in the creeks.
In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
A book that chronicles the achievements of iconic Nigerian women who have made tremendous contributions to nation building has been presented to the public in Lagos. Jane Ojukwu witnessed the presentation of the book titled Nigerian Women Pioneers and Icons, written by an equally iconic woman, Professor Bolanle Awe.
Nigerian Women Pioneers and Icons, a 161-page book, is an attempt at documenting and bringing to the fore the extraordinary women behind historic exploits that cut across various spheres of human endeavor in Nigeria. The 34 women include the legendary Olufumilayo Ransom Kuti, Nana Asmau, Margaret Ekpo, Ladi Kwali, Folake Sholanke, and Professor Jadeshola Akonde. Women who blazed the trail starting from the 17th century till date got their names penned down in the publication.
I'm trying to tell people that women should be recognized and respected and be allowed to have an input into the development of this country as much as any man.
For people who are already out of school, we have centers for skill acquisitions. So they can be like Ladi Kwali, so they can be like Hajia Fatima Lulu.
The book reviewer, Professor Muhammad Yahaya, noted that Professor Bolanle Awe has, by this publication, put history in its proper perspective.
The watershed in our documenting history of those who fought for the actualization of a gender-sensitive Nigeria.
Some of the icons present at the event react.
We are the people of Nigeria, and peace is what we need, so that all can live as one.
The book will play a pivotal role in mentoring the girl child and in reminding Nigerian women of the innate powers that lie within them. In Lagos, Jane Ojukwu, NTA News.
NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues from Abuja. Stay with us.
Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. It's what streams movies. It's what the banks use to check your account.
It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? According to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. They acknowledge that Glow is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With your own Glow One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with your own fiber optic cable. Glow can provide a huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glow is in the air. It's everywhere. Say hello to the Grandmaster.
Join Glow to jollificate with 8 times the value on every recharge, plus free data to give. Every recharge allows data and voice.
The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, wishes to invite accountants, auditors, finance officers, treasurers, budget officers, treasury officers in charge of federal pay offices and other officers involved in treasury management in federal, state and local government and other government-owned agencies to a 3-day national workshop on Treasury Single Account TSA. The workshop is aimed at overviewing public sector financial management reforms, e-payment and disbursement procedures, e-revenue collections and procedures, Treasury Single Accounts and its operations, and Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System IPPIS. Date: Monday 31st October to Wednesday 2nd November 2016. Venue: ASCON Complex, Topo Badagry. Workshop fee: 75,000 naira per participant. For inquiries, please contact Afolayan, Workshop Director, on 080-3318-2344 or Yunusa, Workshop Coordinator, on 080-3722-4527. Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
5, 2, 1. Should I get yours?
Don't worry, I'll call you.
La pendule fait tic-tac, tic-tic.